Advantage Croatia, advantage Denmark. That's right, heading into the second legs of the UEFA Nations League quarterfinals, of course. But who will actually make it through to the semi-finals today? We're going to find out. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today it's all about the quarterfinals, second legs of the UEFA Nations League, with some big boys on the brink of elimination. However, some big boys are on the brink of qualification. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for Nations League, Papanovas, World Football. We're going to all here under our roofs here. So I am a little bit late to the party here, but I am back. We're going to talk all things UEFA Nations League in just 1 second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, hit the old subscribe. Your one-stop shop for Nations League is right here. A big shout out to the patrons and a big shout out to the members. That's right. So what we're going to do now, though, is, of course, revisit those predictions that I did made for the first legs, and then, of course, jump forward to the quarterfinals, second legs. If you're looking for the Nations League promotion, relegation, second legs, that's, of course, in another video. And we'll talk all about that, of course, when we come round to it. But anyway, let's get into the thick of things and take a little look at what I'm talking about. I am talking about this. It is the Nations League. We're down into the quarterfinal stages, and we're going to revisit my predictions, which should be on the screen right about now. That's right. Hopefully, they're going to be here in all their glory. We'll start with the top of the shop over in Denmark. It was a big win for the Danes. That's right. I actually went with a 1-1 scoreline. It was a 1-0 win for the Danes, who do have the upper hand in that first leg. But the second leg will be in Portugal, and we'll take a look at it shortly, of course. We'll maybe even have a look at the odds to see who will progress to the final as well before we get into those predictions. Let's go to Germany then. They, of course, took advantage of an Italian side. 2-1 was my prediction, and it was 2-1. So I got on bang on point there. And, of course, advantage Nagelsmann's boys there, of course, heading into the second leg in Germany, which, of course, all kicks off tomorrow. That's right. All wraps up tomorrow. We'll find out who will be in the semi-finals shortly. Meanwhile, a bit of an upset, major upset, you would say, as Croatia 2-0 winners over La France. La France could be an unassailable advantage for the Croatians, which, of course, the French, one of the heavyweights, one of the guys that are expected to compete for the World Cup. And I'm sure they will do next year in the USA. But it looks like they could be out at this stage unless they have a major turnaround as well. And then finally, over in the Dutchlands, bit of a thriller we had. 2-2 final scoreline. I went with the draw on that. So when you look back at my predictions, a bit of a mixed bag of tricks there. But of course, it can all change in those second legs. So what we're going to do now, though, is, of course, look forward to those second legs. Of course, the venues have now switched around, and we're now going to take a closer look at those as well. Now, before we do that, let's have a look at the odds right here, right now. Because of the maybe lopsided first leg scorelines, this is it. So the underdog, the massive underdog, is Italy. In fact, they are, of course, the 8th favourite to go and lift the trophy at the end of this competition, which will be in June, I believe. Meanwhile, the Dutchies, of course, despite having a level scoreline at the end of the first leg against the Spanish, they are 7th favourite. The 6th favourite, despite with an upper hand advantage, is the Danes. That's right. They are, 6th favourite. 5th favourite is France with that heavy deficit. They are 5th favourites. So only slightly better than them are the Croatians with that 2-0 lead. Then, of course, it is Portugal coming into on the back of a defeat. They are 3rd favourites. Of course, they've been there, seen it, and done it. The Spanish are 2nd favourites, and Germany are, of course, number 1 at the moment. So that's the situation with the bookies odds. We're now going to jump into the deep end and have a look at these 4 matches, which all take place Sunday, March 23rd. Now, this is the 22nd. I've been on the road, and I've just got back here, so I'm recording right now. So we're going to jump to the deep end and take a little look at Portugal up against Denmark. That's right. Again, this is the completion of the 2-legged affair. We'll tell you what we think about that will happen in this match over 90 minutes. And then, of course, if extra time is needed, or will it be done and dusted over aggregate? We'll get into all of that over the course of the rest of this video. Coming at you at the Estadio José Alvalade, Portugal under Roberto Martinez. They're coming in just on 67% form now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. However, spinning it enough away, they've just won once in the last 4. Of course, they're coming at you, having played Denmark 12 times. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Danes under Brian Riemer coming into us with 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6. They've just won coming into us on the back of that win, which was that reverse fixture against Portugal. But that was their first win in 5. Now, they have played 12 times now. Of course, previously 11. Now, of course, 6 wins for Portuguese, 4 wins for Denmark, and there's been 2 draws. Portugal rocking a 5-0 win on the record. They'll need that, or they won't necessarily need that big a scoreline, but they have that on their resume. 21 goals scored against the Danes, 1.75 goals a game ratio. Of course, Denmark on the flip side, they do have a 4-2 win on their record, 15 goals scored, 1.25 goals a game. Of course, the reverse fixture was a 1-0 win, so Portugal will need to win this game if they are to progress. A draw will not cut it. The last time they played at Portugal, it was just a 1-0 win way back in October 2015, so they'll need to better that. And looking back, they do have a 3-1 win on the record against Denmark in recent times at Portugal, of course. The bookies odds for this one, what do they say? The bookies actually go with Portugal to win this one. Now, again, they'll need a win, and maybe a convincing win, to make sure they go through on aggregate. I have actually gone with a 2-0 win, and if you are a mathematician and a brain box, you would know what that means. Take a look at that at the end of the video. Let's go forward then to Germany, take it on Italy. Now, Germany do have that upper hand lead, 2-1 it was, over in Italy. This match takes place over in Dortmund in the Signal Iduna Park. Of course, Julian Nagelsmann's boys, 83% form for them, and with 4 out of the last 5, unbeaten in at least the last 7 matches, taking on Italy under Luciano Spalletti, who have lost back-to-back games. They have played Germany 13 times since 1996, 4 wins apiece, and 5 draws, of course. Germany got a 5-2 win on the record, scored 23 goals in those 13 games, 1.77 goals a game on average. Italy, though, 4-1 win on the record, scored just 22 goals in those 13 matches, 1.69 goals a game. Now, the last time they played over in Germany, it was a 5-2 win for the Germans way back in June 2022. The reverse fixture, of course, a 2-1 win for Germany over Italy. Germany are unbeaten over the last 6 against Italy. They've won 6 on the spin. Actually, tell a lie, they've won 4 and drawn a couple, of course. And again, they did come in just on the back of that win. And the last time they played at home, Germany, was a 7-0 win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. The odds for this one, of course, will go with Germany. They are favoured here on the bookies. They are favoured in my eyes too. I think they'll be quite the ruthless 3-0 winners. And again, if you're a brain box, you'll know what that means in the end. Let's go over to La France. La France. Now, this is, if you're going to watch a game, this has got to be it, because the French are on... I've got a lot of work to do if they're going to get through to those semi-finals. Of course, taking place at the Stade de France. Of course, the hosts managed by Didier Deschamps, coming into this on 75% form. They've won 1 loss, 1 drawn over the last 6, but they are just 1 loss in that last 6. Croatia under Lazato Dalic, just 1 win the last 4. They're rocking 67% form. They played the French 9 times since 1998. They've won, France have won 4, Croatia have won 2, and there's been 3 draws between the 2 sides. Croatia do have a 2-0 win on the record, which was that reverse fixture. France, though, have a 4-2 win. They've scored 15 goals against them, 1.67 goals a game are on average. Croatia rocking 12 goals scored in those 9 games, 1.33 goals a game as well. Now, the last time they played, of course, was a 2-0 win, the reverse fixture in Croatia. The last time they played in France was a 1-0 win for Croatia. In fact, Croatia are unbeaten against the French over the last 3. They've won 2 and they've drawn just the 1. Of course, the bookies will back the French. Of course, they will. They're the hot shots. I think they might win this game, but I don't know if that win is going to be enough to get through to the semi-finals. I'm going 2-1 on the night. Again, get your calculators out. You can try and figure that out while we do the last one. A tricky one. It's Spain. It's the Duchies, of course, coming at you over at Spain, over the Mestalla. That's right. Spain under Luis de la Fuente. They're on 90% form for them right now, unbeaten in at least the last 17 matches. Up against the Dutch under Ronald Koeman. Just 1 win, though, in the last 6. They're rocking 50% form for them as well at the minute. They played Spanish 7 times since 1983. 2 wins for the Spains. 3 wins for the Netherlands. There's been 2 draws as well. Spain have only got a 1-0 win on the record, scoring 7 goals in those 7 games. That's a goal a game on average. The Dutchies have got a 5-1 win. They've scored 12 goals in those 7 matches, 1.71 goals a game. Of course, last time played, it was a 2-2 thriller over in the Dutch. The last time they played in Spain, it was a 5-1 win for, tell a lie, that was a neutral venue. That was a neutral venue. Last time I played in Spain, rolling back the years, probably a 1-0 win for Spain way back in Feb 1983. The Dutchies are unbeaten against the Spanish over the last 4, picking up a couple of wins and a couple of draws. So they could be their bogey side, guys. And they're coming into on the back of that draw. The bookies, they do go with Spain on this one. It's going to be a tight one, I think. But yeah, I think quality will rise in the end. Spain, 3-1 win in the end. And when we look to the odds, we know who's the favourite to go all the distance. But of course, these are the second leg scorelines. Now I'm going to calculate those with those as the first legs and come out with an aggregate score. So if my mathematics is correct, this is what's going to happen. Portugal go through 2-1 on aggregate. They'll be joined and will play Germany in the semi-finals in May or June, whenever it is. 5-1 on aggregate. They're through, knocking out Italy as well. Meanwhile, also going through to the semi-finals, it will be Croatia, that's right. They'll go through 3-2 on aggregate. And again, they'll take on the winner of Spain and the Dutchies, and that will be Spain with a 5-3 aggregate scoreline to go through to a semi-finals. That's what I've got, guys. Make sure you get in down below. Let me know what you think will happen in those Nations League quarterfinals, the second legs. We'll look forward to those semi-finals. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash the like. Until then, guys, we are done.